So, folks, you had the University of Pennsylvania president step down after backlash to her congressional testimony. And then the Harvard Corporation, the Harvard board, looked like it was going to stand by their embattled president, Claudine Gay. And they did. But amidst the second plagiarism charge, she resigned anyway. Claudine Gay resigns the presidency of Harvard University amid plagiarism allegations. Is from CNN. The resignation of Harvard President Claudine Gay after new plagiarism claims closes her chapter in a storm that has dragged elite schools into bitter pre-election politics. Gay announced she was stepping down on Tuesday, ending the shortest tenure atop the renowned Ivy League university in history after weeks of criticism reignited when the Washington Free Beacon published new accusations that she had lifted language she used in a paper 20 years ago from another professor. So for reference, here are the accusations in the Washington Free Beacon. Here's this headline: Harvard president Claudine Gay hit with 6 new charges of plagiarism. Harvard president Claudine Gay was hit with 6 additional allegations of plagiarism on Monday in a complaint filed with the university, breathing fresh life into a scandal that has embroiled her nascent presidency and pushing the total number of allegations near 50. 7 of Gay's 17 published works have already been impacted by the scandal.
Oh my God.
But the new charges, which have not been previously reported, extended into an 8th. In a 2001 article, Gay lifts nearly half a page of material verbatim from another scholar, David Cannon, a political science professor at the University of Wisconsin. The article, "The Effect of Minority Districts and Minority Representation on Political Participation in California," includes some of the most extreme and clear-cut cases of plagiarism yet. So this is a research paper, obviously, like a research article, an academic research article. And here they cite examples of where her language kind of overlaps with this previously published paper that 35 people read and no one really remembers or cares about. As you can see, the highlighted text represents all the similarities. The VRA is often cited as one of the most significant pieces of civil rights legislation passed in our nation's history. Claudine Gay writes, "The Voting Rights Act of 1965 is often cited as one of the most significant pieces of civil rights legislation passed in our nation's history." And as you can see, all that red highlighted text is stuff that is similar, if not identical, to the source text, which she apparently did not cite. The Washington Free Beacon continues. Cannon, like several of the scholars Gay has quoted without attribution, insisted that she had done nothing wrong. "I am not at all concerned about the passages," Cannon told the Washington Free Beacon. "This isn't even close to an example of academic plagiarism." Though Harvard's governing board, the Harvard Corporation, said in mid-December that it had reviewed Gay's published oeuvre and found several cases of inadequate citation, it did not identify any of the examples described in the new complaint, which was submitted to the school's research integrity officer, Stacy Springs, and obtained by the Free Beacon. The discrepancy raises troubling questions not just about the scope of Gay's plagiarism, which appears to afflict half of her published works, but also the thoroughness and seriousness of the corporation's probe, which the board described as, quote, "an independent review by distinguished political scientists." Okay, so we have here a plagiarism accusation, a citation of stuff that was clearly lifted from another source. Seems like she may have done it. The author says she didn't. Seems like she probably lifted material from his paper, as I'm sure most of us have done in college. I know the process of writing a research paper is basically, what? You read shit, you take it in, you write it down. If she had changed the words, would it have been less lifted? Like, isn't a research paper taking in information and writing it down? I admit I'm a biased source here. In a sense, I have no dog in this fight whatsoever. If I were king of the world, I would seize the assets of all of these Ivy League universities. I would repurpose their dormitory rooms for, low-income housing or affordable housing units, and I would strip the schools for parts. I don't believe in the commodification of the education system. I don't believe in prestigious universities. I don't believe the people who go to these universities are any more special or more entitled to a life of happiness than anyone else. And so it could not concern me less who goes to Harvard, who runs Harvard, who swims at Harvard, who plays football at Harvard, who's on the debate club at Harvard. I don't give a fuck about Harvard. I don't like Harvard. I never have. I don't care about Claudine Gay. I never have. But the fact is she's being singled out and run out of town because she is allowing dissenting speech on the Israel-Palestine issue. And I don't like that. I don't like that. And I don't like that Bill Ackman now gets to take a victory lap and tweets out something like, et tu, Sally. I guess Sally is the head of MIT, I'm assuming, since he's now taken down 2 of the 3 leaders of these Ivy League schools that have been in the crosshairs of these assholes over these past few months. And so whether she's guilty or not, maybe she is. I don't particularly care. I don't hold it against people if they cheat on academic papers. I think academia is a giant jerk off. I don't respect it as an institution. I never have. And I think she's being singled out, and I don't like to see it. Whether she's guilty or not, fuck them. Fuck them.
I hold a lot of those same sentiments myself, but I will have to say I do kind of disagree because I feel like just because even if it's just like we're trying to live up to it, we claim this is an elite institution, people pay to go into debt. It's all well, maybe not the richest, but there are quite a few people that pay into debt to go there, to have that sort of piece of paper that says they went to Harvard so they can get special pats on the back and all that other type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question would be, where was the rigor applied whenever you're appointing the head of that elite institution? Like her research should have been reviewed at that point.
No, she was probably a DEI hire. That's what people are saying about her. That's probably true.
Sure, most likely. Or what is probably also very likely, if you've ever worked with an HR department, they really like people that can market. They like people that are presentable, that they can. And so that is really what the president of Harvard is. It's supposed to be this face. So she's supposed to be a good communicator. She's supposed to be able to make good deals with whatever thing she has to interact with. She's supposed to be a spokesperson. Well, the spokesperson of an elite institution should not have academic fraud or plagiarism in the background, even though, yes, everyone's cheated on papers. I get that. But if you are angling for the top spot, then I think you actually are required to show some of that rigor. And clearly she didn't. She is more of an HR politician than she is an academic because she does not have any rigor and she never applied herself in that way. Now, pick up Norman Finkelstein's book. That's an academic. The citing, the resources, all of that.
And he takes it very seriously.
That is a true academic. Mm-hmm. She does not have those qualities. And so I just, defending her or anything like that, I kind of hesitate to do that. Now, the plagiarism was found through a witch hunt. I can hold 2 things in my head at one time.
Sure, of course.
The way it was discovered, I think, is broadly unfair, right? But guess what? If you're not up to standards that your students have to uphold, then you don't get to keep your spot. I'm sorry.
But do the students have to uphold those those academic standards? Like, do they? Because here's something, and look, I shared, for full disclosure for the audience, I shared these slides with Tusker last night, so I'm not pulling something. I'm not like, aha, this is not a gotcha. 43% of white students, Harvard admits, are legacies, jocks, or the kids of donors and faculties. This was a study that was put out in 2019 and reported on in Slate. This month, a group of researchers have delivered a sobering look at how affirmative action works for affluent whites at America's most prestigious university. From 2009 until 2014, the paper Legacy and Athlete Preferences at Harvard finds 43%, almost half of the Caucasian applicants accepted at Harvard University were either athletes, legacies, or the children of donors and faculty. only about a quarter of those students would have been accepted to the school, the study concludes, without those admissions advantages. So tell me again about the academic standards that you are held to at Harvard. It's a school full of rich kids and bimbo lacrosse players who, I'm sorry, they are not vetted in this way. These fucking kids write research papers exactly how Claudine Gay wrote hers. They read fucking shit that was published years before, and they basically paraphrase it, and sometimes they may use the exact wording, sometimes they don't. What academic rigor is involved in changing the sentence structure so that it doesn't register a direct match in the Washington Free Beacon's research? Oh, we got you for this sentence matches that sentence. Who fucking cares? You're reading shit, you're regurgitating it, and you are repeating it in written form on your paper. The great playwright David Mamet said, you only need 3 things in life to be successful. He says, you don't need smarts, you don't need talent, you need neatness, you need obedience, and you need memory. You need to be able to straighten a collar on a shirt, you need to follow orders, and you need to know how to retain and regurgitate information. And that's it. If you could do those 3 things, you'll be all right in life. And as long as these athletes and these legacy admissions and these rich kids are able to do that, they will get their way into Harvard if they were born to the right parents. And that's it. They're not vetted either. Like I said, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't care about Claudine Gay. It's not about Claudine Gay. It's a fact that these institutions are not what they present themselves to be. They are not institutions of higher learning. Well, this is a vessel through which the scum of the earth flow to power. That's it. That's it. And Claudine Gay is being singled out for her mediocrity because she is politically inconvenient. Whereas the most mediocre fucking people in the world go to school on that campus every day of the year and they pass through unencumbered. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fair. But I also think that there is a conversation about what is it that we want academia to be. So there are these requirements for these papers and stuff. They want you to do that synopsis before you add your research to it. That's a requirement. Okay, well,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm saying if this is an issue, then, and if academia, if you have so many academics being like, that's not plagiarism and defending her, then it's up to you to change the standards of academics. What do you want? Is that what you want people to be graded on? Just rote memory, not talent, intelligence, anything like that. That's a discussion that you can have.
But once you have that discussion, you change the entire purpose and function of these elite colleges and these elite universities. These colleges are not set up to enlighten people. They are set up to prime people for positions of power atop an unjust system. Jesus Christ, I thought you were the communist here. All right. I mean, that's why they exist. So, yeah, I mean, look, if you want to really take the pursuit of knowledge and enlightenment seriously, if you're old fashioned that way, the way Russell is, right? Then sure, your argument makes total sense on that front. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying that's a different world you're talking about. You're talking about a world in which...
You mean it might require a revolution? Well, who's the communist now, Keith?
Touche. Yeah.
I have my positions for a reason.
Yeah. Russell was telling me, because I was talking to him offline about this, he says, you are a true, Stalinist when it comes to this topic, when it comes to this area. And I am, because what purpose do I want academia to serve? Really none. I mean, if it can be harnessed into something truly transcendent and truly special, the way a lot of people very naively view institutions like Harvard and Yale.
What they ideally project it to be now. Right.
Right.
Like their perception of it.
Right, exactly. But that's not how these schools function right now. These are for mediocre people who were born to the right parents, who have the right ambitions, who wish to serve power in the right way. This is a way to grease the wheels for them to get where they have to be. Yes. That's why these institutions exist. And they're giving Claudine Gay a hard time because she crossed them in a moment of political panic, and they can't have that.
Right. Elite universities and institutions like that, they serve as the indoctrination wing of the cadre for the people that they expect to replace their establishment individuals later on. They have the right credentials. They have all of that type of stuff. It hangs on a paper in their office. Just whenever they need it, they can appear in a Zoom call and 5 diplomas will be in the background, all from Harvard and Princeton and Yale and all those fantastic things. And that's going to tell the masses that you can't disagree with that person. They're an expert. Have you seen how many pieces of paper that they have on their wall behind them? That's what it serves. They are literally the intelligentsia. They're the cadre of the establishment. They serve, that is their role. They are the vanguard of centrism.
Please clap.